Welcome to Average Joe's Fantasy Sports Podcast, where we bring you news, notes, and more to help you win your championship fantasy football league. Stay tuned and listen in for the great information we have for you today. What's up, y'all? Welcome to another episode of Average Joe's Fantasy Sports Podcast.
We back.
I found someone.
I'm back.
Hey, Scott. Made it back for the Week 13 recap Part 2.
Part 2.
Part 2.
Let's do this.
Absolutely. So we're going to start off with San Francisco and Chicago.
Let's do it.
And, man, sorry for the sad days for anybody in this game.
Pretty much.
Marquise Goodwin actually balled out, though. 8 for 99 yards with Jimmy Garoppolo starting. So he may be the number one if you guys are looking for a receiver, especially in the PPR format. I mean, they're probably playing from down or just trying to evaluate how Jimmy plays. That means the receivers are going to be getting looks, and Marquise Goodwin is going to be the recipient of some of those looks.
Yep, for sure. Big one. And so is Trent Taylor.
Trent Taylor did show up on the map. He was 6 for 6 for 92 yards.
Yeah, that's
so,
pretty good.
yeah, 8 for 8 and 6 for 6. That's pretty awesome.
It's very good.
Yeah, so it could be. I won't put him on the fantasy radar yet. We'll see what week, the second week of Jimmy Garoppolo's starts do.
And I think they're playing against Houston next week, so that could be a pretty good.
We'll see what comes out of that.
Yep.
Going to the Bears. Sorry, there's still nobody to offer you here. I mean, Dontrell Inman is the only guy, but it's 2 targets, 2 receptions, 21 yards, and a score. He is going to be the guy, one. Cameron Reyes comes back, he'll probably be number 2, but you're still not looking for anybody really here. I mean, Mitchell Trubisky does not throw enough for it to matter. So, we'll move on from this game because this game is dry.
Or doo-doo.
Yeah, or do however you want to do that. So, now we'll go to Houston and Tennessee.
Houston and Tennessee. This was a bit of a dogfight a little bit.
Yeah, it wasn't the worst of the worst games this weekend.
Yeah.
That's for sure. Let's go to the Houston side. We'll start with Tom Savage, who somehow still finds DeAndre Hopkins, who he had him go for 8 for 80, which was awesome. So anyway, the Hopkins fans, you can still start him. He's still getting involved, still playing good football, making plays. So good for that. Another person, Braxton Miller is the other one, 4 for 4 and 71 yards. Can you get number 2 there? Take some pressure off Hopkins. Braxton Miller has been playing well of late, so if you're in a deeper league, shoot for Braxton. Aim for him. Now, Lamar Miller. I mean, Alfred Brewer down with the injury, so that's more work for Lamar Miller again. He's just going to be a full workload all the time. So start Lamar Miller next week, especially against San Francisco. How could you not?
Exactly. Exactly.
Now let's shoot down to Tennessee. What up with Tennessee, Scotty?
Marcus Mariota.
Knows it.
150 yards with 1 touchdown. He also did run a little bit, and he got his rushing touchdown. Derrick Henry ended up showing up late in the game because I had him on my bench, which was seeming like a little bit of a wrong move by me. He rushed for 109 yards and got a rushing touchdown. So he kind of took over a little bit in the second half of that game. And Delaney Walker caught all 5 of his catches for 63 yards and also got a receiving touchdown.
Delaney Walker's the man, too. Delaney Walker is the man. He's been the man.
Yep.
It sucks he's on that team, but he has been doing well on that team, so that's cool. But other than that, Rashard Matthews, they're hopeful for him to return this week, so we'll give you a little more update tomorrow when the injury news comes through. But if that comes through, Mariota could be a streamer for next week, so
absolutely
keep that in mind, y'all. So now let's move down to Denver and Miami.
Oof. I did not see a lick of this game, but the outcome
It was
made me
bad.
a little happy.
I mean, the outcome was fine for whoever actually cared.
Let's start with the crappy team. We'll go ahead and talk about C.J. Anderson on the Denver
We'll
Broncos.
talk about the Broncos, yes.
Yes. He rushed for 67 yards, 4 catches out of 7 targets for only 43 yards. Gave you 15 fantasy points, which is pretty good. And then Jamal Charles was your only other guy.
Nope. Otherwise, there's nobody relevant on here. Of this week, Demaryius Thomas, whoever drafted him, you're really bummed out about how his performance has been this year. Emmanuel Sanders, as well, you're bummed out about how their performance has been this year.
Absolutely.
So they're going to be a hard start next week, especially with the quarterback roulette that keeps going on between Simeon, between Osweiler and Lynch, and that nightmare that's happened. So, if you're in the playoffs, maybe find somebody else. You might as well take a flyer on somebody who actually can fly.
Like if surprisingly.
Speaking of flyers, is where I was leading into here.
Right.
Kenny Stills.
Kenny Stills would be a great one.
He ended up with 13 targets this game, 5 receptions, 98 yards, and 1 score. 18.8 fantasy points.
I mean,
if you're gonna take a flyer.
I mean that would be a great one because Devontae Parker is nowhere to be found.
Never.
And Jarvis Landry is the only other guy.
I hate to say drop him, but you can drop him. Pick up somebody else. There are other people that you can pick up now that can be way more useful as receivers. So.
Absolutely. I mean, you
got Jermaine Kearse. You can pick up Jermaine Kearse. He's available. You can pick up Josh Gordon, who actually went 4 for 85.
Bro, he was
came back and played well. So, pick up someone like that. Now, Kenyon Drake, if you don't have him, waiver wires, go for Kenyon Drake. Absolutely. 120 rushing yards, a rushing touchdown, 3 receptions, 21 yards. He's getting all the work. There's nobody else. There is nobody else.
Absolutely. I mean, Denver's defense was shot a little bit because there was no Aqib Talib, but not like one guy's going to take over that game. So
they'll be fine. They've been playing bad all year, so that's changed nothing.
Yep. But, I mean, other than that, Kenyon Drake is really the number one guy, like you said. Perfect. I mean, even if you need a decent tight end still for this playoff, just to get past this playoff week, get a Julius Thomas. I mean, he's been getting targets left and right through Jay Cutler. I mean, he seems to get touchdowns left and right. He only got 3 receptions on 3 targets for 20 yards and a touchdown. So
moving on.
That's pretty good for me.
Word. Cleveland.
All right, let's do that.
Los Angeles.
Almost a slow one a little bit.
It was, but they did what they needed to do. They got my man Keenan Allen's the ball. Speaking of someone who gets targets. The Chargers, baby. Keenan Allen, 10 receptions, 105 yards, and a score. Automatic start now. I mean, it's impossible to not start him because Phillip Rivers has, in the offense, have found whatever they need. After Phillip Rivers' concussion, he's been balling out ever since.
He has.
It's really crazy. He must knock something together. I don't get it. Awesome. But Keenan Allen is also the only player in NFL history, only one, to have 10 receptions, 100 plus yards, and back-to-back games. 3 games in a row.
I can see it.
So, kudos to you, Keenan Allen, for making a comeback after 2 seasons full of injury. So, good job. 26.5 fantasy points for him. Hunter Henry's involved again, 7 for 81. Another person, if you need a tight end in the playoffs, the PPR scoring, aim for him. Hunter Henry is someone that you would like. Melvin Gordon, he got you 14.6 fantasy points, but slow rolling as of late. So standard leagues, you probably weren't as happy you got you 10.6, but it's hard not to roll him out there.
Right.
You got Washington this week, so.
I would certainly try to start him because if you think
you gotta start him again. It's hard. It's hard as to start him. He does have upside. When they get to the goal line, he'll be the one to punch in. So
and Alfred Morris running against his old team and making them look silly.
Yeah.
Why not start him? So why not start Melvin Gordon? He'll get you something.
Yeah. DeShone Kizer now.
He's been looking a little bit better, but...
Well, the only reason I'm bringing DeShone Kizer up is to bring up Josh Gordon, who, if DeShone Kizer can get some connection with, Josh Gordon could be a fantasy asset. He came back, had 12.5 fantasy points in PPR scoring, 4 receptions, 85 yards. If he's available on the waivers, which some places he still is, please go for Josh Gordon. He had actually looked good. They just didn't have a connection right away, but the more time they have together, the better that will come.
He's starting practices now, so
Yep.
he's going to be with the team and practice pretty good. So why not?
Yes. Otherwise, for that, there's nobody else in the bottom. I mean, you would like to start Crowell, but you can't. Duke had no game here. I mean, it just didn't work. So
It was the Chargers' defense a little bit.
the Chargers defense is good. Yeah, it's true. So
Maybe next week.
maybe.
Maybe.
So let's go to the next game here. Carolina, New Orleans.
This one was a fun one to watch a little bit. It's kind of back and forth. And let's talk about Alvin Kamara.
Tell me
This
something.
guy is just unreal. 60 rushes, 2 rushing touchdowns, 5 receptions on 6 targets for 66 yards. That's a ball out.
He's crazy, man. The way he's turned up and in a 2-back system. After AP leaves, it's been Mark Ingram, Alvin Kamara just turning up like wow.
And speaking of both of them, Mark Ingram,
Yes.
85 rushing yards on 1 rushing touchdown, 6 receptions on 7 targets for 37 yards. I mean, I ain't mad at that because I got him on my lineup.
Not at all.
24 fantasy points. Great. That helped me. But Michael Thomas, your boy, finally got a
score.
Got his receiving touchdown. 5 on 9 targets, 70 yards, and that 1 touchdown. Perfect. So, not
Absolutely.
mad at that. And you get to see the Saints win. So, if you're a Saints fan, good job. You guys are happy this year.
You are happy.
Yep. And then let's go to the Panthers side. Cam Newton was a little bit relevant. 183 yards with 2 touchdowns and 51 rushing yards himself. Christian McCaffrey always finding the end zone. Always.
Yep, figuring it out now.
16 rushing yards, 5 receptions on 6 targets, 33 yards, and 1 receiving touchdown. That one was beautiful too. I saw that.
You got some takeout speed, let me tell you.
Right? He really does. Let's see. We'll go to Devin Funches. He looked pretty good out there. 4 receptions on 7 targets, 60 yards, and 1 receiving touchdown.
Yep.
So he's the number 1 there, for sure.
Absolutely.
He's the number 1 there. But they got a lot of lineups on here with receiving ends, but still trying to figure out who's number 1. And that's Devin Funches. Keep it that way.
Are you ready for the Rams-Cards game?
Yeah.
Cool, because I'm ready to talk about some people.
Yeah.
Let's talk about at least a person. Todd Gurley, Rams,
Dude.
LA. I mean,
Like
this dude can do everything. 6 receptions for 84 yards on 7 targets, and then 74 rush yards to go on top of that. 21.8 fantasy points.
Beautiful.
I mean, he's probably one of the bounce back candidates, if I had to say so myself, because last year you were so disappointed of where he drafted him, number 1, number 2, somewhere in there after his rookie season, and he just was a bust. Sean McVay came and saved this team.
They better get
unreal. Doubled their point total from last year.
They went back to back, playing against the Cardinals and put up 30 points, back to back. Like 1 in London, 33-0. This one, 32-16. Like
team's good, which will make its players good. Jared Goff can be fantasy relevant, 220 and 2 touchdowns, 15 fantasy points. Cooper Kupp, 5 for 68. Some guys that you may want to keep an eye on. If Robert Woods is down, those guys will be getting the looks. If Robert Woods is back, please get Robert Woods. I see him out there in a few waiver wire spots. Robert Woods is becoming more and more of a talent. He's getting more and more comfortable.
Well, just wait until next year, too. There's going to be a lot of Rams being taken.
Word. Now, the only person that's a factor here for the Cardinals is Larry Fitzgerald. 10 receptions on 10 targets, 98 yards, 1 score, 25.8 fantasy points.
He deserves every bit.
He is great. Even in a year with rotating quarterbacks, he still has figured it out. He figures it out every year. He just goes out and plays football. So,
Awesome.
Larry Fitzgerald against Houston, yeah. You know? But who they play? No, they don't play Houston.
They play Rams.
The Rams this week. No, who they play next week?
Next week, they play against the Titans.
Titans, that's who it is. Yeah, you can start Larry against the Titans.
Yeah,
I saw red. I was saying San Fran for some reason.
Oh, no, you're
I
good.
was tripping.
You're good.
Straight tripping. Giants, Raiders.
Man, I only watched, to be honest with you, I only watched the first half of this game. It was too close for comfort. But they
I felt good about Geno Smith getting my man the football, though, you know?
That's nice and all.
Hey, here's the thing. I need, because I have Gronk who is out, so and I have Evan Ingram as my backup. To see him go for 7 receptions, 99 yards, and a touchdown, gives me confidence. If Geno Smith is capable of doing that, then I'm happy. Even though he only pulled up 9 fantasy points, I don't care about Geno. Not that important. It's all about Evan Ingram. Start him. Fire him up.
The only problem that I have is I put him on my bench.
That's why you're a terrible owner.
Because I think it was last week they didn't do very well.
No, they didn't. The last couple
So
weeks he hasn't done well.
I wasn't trusting in him, but it is what it is.
I play off in all 3 leagues, though.
You did?
Yeah, all 3,
There you go.
baby.
There you go.
Yeah,
Put it
baby. So let's go down to the Oakland Raiders. There is still nobody of fantasy relevance. I don't care about Cordell Patterson's 4 for 97. I don't care about Danny Holton's 339 touchdown because Cooper's not in there and Crabtree's not in there. Now, Crabtree's will be back next week. The suspension's over.
Yep.
So that's good. Cooper, on the other hand, should be back, but the injury update for Wednesday will tell us that. And we'll give you the news tomorrow about what his status is.
Yep, because I have him on one of my lineups, and I'm actually really hoping he comes back. But they said his ankle's a little...
Yeah, I forgot about the ankle. The ankle's the other part. Absolutely.
Yeah. So, we'll see. Marshawn Lynch, you're not really... I mean,
He's a factor today.
It was against the Giants, so their defense is pretty shot. But, I mean, 101 yards on 1 rushing touchdown, which was a great touchdown run. 3 targets, 2 receptions for 20 yards, and then was done. So 20 fantasy points, great, but you either probably put him on your bench because you know he wasn't going to be effective.
Who's Oakland had next week?
Oakland, we have KC, the team that's
been
a little bit.
Yeah, have been, and you guys came back to win against them. So
we did that one.
That one was the best game of the year, man. That was an exciting game. One of the best games of the year.
It really. There was the San Fran
in LA.
LA, yes. Yeah. That one was really.
That was a very good Thursday night game. That was an excellent game. But I almost would put because there was 4 different times they had to win the game.
Yeah, dude, it was making my heart freak out, dude.
That was insane.
I thought I was gonna have a heart attack.
Something like that. That was cool.
I was like, you guys gotta be.
That was cool.
Oh, it's scaring the heck out of me, man.
Sunday night.
This one, I actually watched this one, and man, was I PO'd.
Philly, Seattle, clash of some NFC Titans.
Yeah, but the NFL wanted the Seahawks to win.
Probably.
They let bad calls go Seahawks way. It was. It was.
I'm not gonna say they did. I'm not gonna say they didn't. You know, the Eagles didn't look well.
They didn't, and I was very frustrated because Carson Wentz in.
They were playing sloppy football.
But Carson Wentz knows how to come back. It's insane. The fact that he had a really slow first half, came in the second half, still threw 348 yards with 1 touchdown, threw 1 interception. Did fumble. I saw that one at the goal line. And then had 30 rushing yards himself. So he gave you about 16, 17 points. Yeah. So that's not bad. He threw that 1 touchdown to Nelson Aguilar that went off on 7 receptions with 12 targets, 141 yards, and 1 receiving touchdown. He gave you 27 fantasy points. Alshon Jeffrey was a little bit involved, even though he got paid. But 4 receptions on 6 targets for 61 yards.
Who does Philly play this week, I wonder?
Philly plays...
I'll try to pop it up real quick. Hold on 1 second. Go down and tell me about the Seahawks real fast. Do this research.
Seahawks. Very
Rams.
Ooh,
another NFC battle.
That was fun to watch.
I'm ready for that. High-powered offenses.
Let's go.
Nice.
Let's go. Let's see. Russell Wilson just knows how to just continue to keep going. 227 yards, 3 touchdowns, with 31 rushing yards himself.
He killed me last week.
It's
Killed
unreal,
me.
Mike Davis.
Yes, tell him about him. The
he
waiver
found-
wire ad.
Yes. If you have him
If he's on waivers,
yeah,
please.
absolutely. They actually finally found 14 weeks in. Finally found their only running back, Mike Davis. 4 receptions on 4 targets for 37 yards, and then also rushed for 64 yards. Gave you about 14 fantasy points. You are absolutely not upset about that.
No.
Doug Baldwin just is
Not an elite
normal,
performance, but a good
but
performance.
he's there. 5 receptions on 7 targets for 84 yards. I wasn't mad about that.
But let's talk about Jimmy. 5 touchdowns, 9 on the season.
Yeah.
3 receptions, 26 yards, and they score.
Yeah.
Start him every week because he finds the end zone.
Yep. It's true. He really does.
It's true.
And then, yeah, let's head on to the next game.
Monday night.
Monday night, this one, a lot of people said it was pretty hard to watch, but
Chippy. I mean, extremely chippy.
I
Like,
mean,
people were getting knocked out left and right. People were getting blasted with head hits. I mean, Juju Smith-Schuster comes and blows up Burfict.
that one, I mean,
That was crazy.
That one was a little bit too much, but it's still a football play, so.
Yeah, it was not a legal football play.
No, it was a football play, but it wasn't. It was to the head, which was pretty bad. So.
Technically, not even really supposed to do it blocks anymore. You're not supposed to do
Yeah, because it was a blind hit.
Yeah.
I don't know, and then Juju standing over him was kind of.
Yeah, that was also a little too much. But so as long as we're on the Steelers, let's speak about the Steelers. Big Ben has been showing up as of late. 290, 2 touchdowns, 1 INT, but 18 fantasy points. And his success is leading to Antonio Brown's success, who is 8 receptions, 101 and a touchdown. Just gets it done on the regular. 24.1 fantasy points.
Yep.
If they're cooking like this, you can't take them on. It's been 3 straight weeks where they've just been on fire.
I know, and I'm having a debate. I have Ben on my bench, or I put in Carson Wentz.
Ben's at home. I might have to say Ben.
Ben is at home against Baltimore, though.
I'm going to have to say Carson Wentz because I'm not going to cheer and go against Baltimore.
All right. I know. So.
Let's go.
I know, right?
But Le'Veon Bell also gets it done. 76 rush yards, 5 receptions for 101 yards, and receiving touchdown. Already over the 1,000-yard mark for the season for rushing.
Crazy, dude. Crazy. There was one play that really, wanted me to call you up and be like, hit the hole, Le'Veon. Because he
trucked him.
Well, he came up on the line, and he was behind one of his linemen, and he stood there.
All the hesitation, man. His field vision was ridiculous.
He waited for a couple seconds and then hit the hole and got a couple yards.
Mine was when he caught the ball,
nuts, dude.
and then they were going on 4th and 1 or whatever, and they ran with him.
Boom.
And he just hit stick, baby.
Dude.
It was awesome. But those are your fantasy people for the Steelers. Let's go down. To the Bengals, Andy Dalton has been playing well of late. 234, 2 touchdowns, 19.3 fantasy points. No picks. He wasn't the reason why they lost that game. The defense was the reason they lost that game. But A.J. Green getting involved 7 for 77 and 2 receiving touchdowns.
Should have had 3. But they called it back because of a hold on Giovanni Bernard that kind of got involved a little bit in this game. 2 receptions on 3 targets for 19 yards and 77 rushing yards.
If Joe Mixon's available, grab him because if Giovanni Bernard is available, grab him because Joe Mixon left that game with a concussion.
Ooh, that's not
so good. The likelihood it was a pretty bad hit. So they're thinking that he's definitely going to be out for the following week. And Giovanni Bernard has been an effective running back in that system before. Mm-hmm. He can be an effective running back in that system again.
Interesting. Yeah. Because, they were teeter-tottering on who's going to be the running back. And then they fired their offensive coordinator. They used Mixon a little bit more. But now this situation, Bernard, he's been there. He's been in this system for quite some time. So I think...
He'll be fine. He'll be a very capable running back next week.
Yep.
So
Getting the ball rolling there in Cincy, even though.
keep the ball rolling, huh? Ball puns, kid. Football.
But yeah,
Ball rolling.
it's a good
Was
week of
good
football.
week, good fun week of football.
Can't wait for next week.
Yeah, I think you guys hang out for the recap, man.
And you guys, if you guys are starting your playoffs,
Yeah.
this is the biggest week I
If you're on the
believe.
bye week, then
Yeah.
it is.
If you're in a bye week,
Biggest week's
Kick it back.
championship week. You're in it.
yeah.
So good luck.
Good luck,
We'll
guys.
get to you guys tomorrow with the injury updates, but
Yeah.
good luck in your fantasy playoffs. We'll see you guys tomorrow.